All right, we're back. It's Friday, and we're rapid firing this week about something that I haven't experimented with much. Mr. Jared has.
Not a ton.
Some.
A little bit.
Yeah. So, arrow weight, the whole craze that it seems like every single person on the internet's talking about, and it doesn't even capture my interest whatsoever. But I'll let you talk about it.
Yeah, so this is something that I don't go super crazy with. I've always been in the mindset that build a solid arrow, shoot a fixed blade, and don't really worry about it. I mean, we're shooting whitetail mainly, we're not hunting elk or moose or anything like that. So, the whole craze right now is to build an arrow over 600 grains with, 19+% front of center weight and all that, which is cool. I mean, I'm shooting a fairly heavy arrow setup this year because I went to Alaska and I'm, chasing a bigger critter. And I actually wish I'd have went a little bit lighter in arrow weight on that trip just because the shots were longer. And I wish my pin gap wasn't so big. So, that's what a lot of these people forget about is, you shoot these big heavy arrows and I mean, they're absolutely effective and it does help. But if you suck at ranging or judging yardage, you might not want to shoot something so heavy. I mean, wouldn't you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm more of the if it ain't broke, don't fix it type of guy.
If it is
and
broke, just
even if it is, just keep grinding that son of a bitch away. No, I mean, honestly, 99% of the shots that I take at whitetail is under 10 yards, and most of the stuff that I like to hunt, I prefer to hunt stuff that's super freaking thick. And if I get a shot, it's going to be right up on top of me. And I've just not had a problem with what I shoot. So, I've never had a reason to I am changing my broadheads up a little bit this year, just because I wanted to try out some new broadheads and wanted to try out a fixed blade for the urban hunt that I do. And I really like the fixed blade that I chose. I picked a tooth of the arrow, and it's only 100 grain, little tiny broadhead, but they look wicked and they shoot. I mean, they shoot lights out. So I am changing that up a little bit, but as far as arrow weight and stuff goes, I don't really see the advantage for me to spend my time doing it for shooting deer.
Yeah, I mean, it really comes down to your bow setup too. Take a little bit of time, get your arrow flying right. Get that bow tuned as good as you can do it. To the best of your ability.
Deer right there.
Yep. Give me your bow, Grant. We'll test this theory out. That one looked pretty thin. It'd be easy to kill, but no. I mean, spend a little bit of time tuning your bow. It also comes down to shot placement. Obviously, things can go wrong, and that's where a heavier arrow setup may help if you hit heavy bone or something like that. But choose a good stout mid-weight arrow, something in the 420 to 450 grains. I've shot almost 50 whitetail with a bow with a 400 grain arrow and a slick trick broadhead. That's the most simple setup you could think of right there. But I always focused on arrow flight and shot placement, and if you hit the odd bone here or there, you'll be just fine. But think of your application, think of the animal you're hunting, the distance you're going to be shooting. If you're shooting big wide open hardwoods where you might have to shoot 40 yards, maybe you don't want a super heavy arrow. But if you're shooting 10 yards and closer or whatever, maybe a little bit heavier arrow would be just fine. So don't the whole point of this whole thing is don't do it just because somebody on Facebook says that it's the right thing to do. Look at your setup and figure it out for yourself.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
it's really all comes down to.
I fight against following what everybody else is doing almost all the time. Like whenever Jared first got into saddles, I was like, man, you're an idiot. And then after I realized that, it really is beneficial for the way we hunt anyway. So I started doing that. But like most of the trends, I tend to go away from. And if it's real popular on Facebook, I almost don't look at it on purpose just because it aggravates me.
So you're a hipster then?
Yeah, I'm all vintage and I just forgot my flannel shirt.
He does have a man bun under his hat.
Yeah,
though.
I do.
But nah, it just comes down to what you want out of a rig. If you want to shoot a heavy arrow setup, it's absolutely effective. But
There's nothing wrong with it.
no, nothing at all.
I ain't gonna spend my time with it.
Yeah, I mean, do what you think's necessary, but I'd spend more time tuning and practicing than worrying about 400 grain inserts and all that. That's just me. But.
Yeah, I agree. Rapid Fire Friday. See, Jared's probably still wrong, but we'll see.